Afghanistan, Thor, and Betty Ford are all on this day. Welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is July 8th, 2022. It is the 189th day of the year. There are 176 days left in 2022. It is the 27th Friday in the 28th week and the 18th day of summer. We got 76 days left until fall. If today's your birthday, we're still working with Cancer. That doesn't sound right. Your astrological sign is still a Cancer. Today is National Freezer Pop Day. In the heat of the summer, National Freezer Pop Day brings the sweet chill of relief. That's what it says on the website. On July 8th, grab one of America's favorite ways to cool off with a frozen sweet treat. Gelsert Company founded National Freezer Pop Day in 2020 to celebrate the summer and being a kid with a freezer pop. The Gelsert Company is the maker of Flava Ice, Otter Pops, Pop Ice, Cool Pop, All Sport, and Weiler's Authentic Italian Ice. Yeah, they're the ones that started it. I should say they're the ones that made it go mainstream. Back in the 70s, they had another brand that was like a competitor, Otter Pops, and it had characters on them and all that. Me and my friends, I don't know, we were in high school and we could remember them all. We sat down and talked one day about it. We remembered all of them. I can't even find the company anymore. If anyone remembers them, let me know. I don't even know what the company was called, but it was a total ripoff of Otter Pops. All right, let's see what else July 8th has given us. 1876, the Hamburg Massacre prior to the 1876 United States presidential election results in the death of 6 African Americans of the Republican Party, along with one white assailant. 1879, sailing ship USS Jeannette departs San Francisco carrying an ill-fated expedition to the North Pole. So in 1879, when the USS Jeannette took off from San Francisco, it was big news. This was in all the papers all across the country, and they took off to all kinds of people, giving them a send-off on the docks. This was a big deal for the time. They were going to get to the North Pole. It didn't go as planned. Within 2 months of leaving San Francisco, the Jeannette had become trapped in the ice. They sailed around for a bit trying to find a way out of the ice, but eventually they just got stuck, like frozen to an ice shelf. And there they stayed for 2 years. Luckily, they had a doctor with them named Dr. Ambler, and he had kept the crew going, taking care of them, making sure everything was rationed, like their lime juice, so they didn't get scurvy, and had little sporting events on the ship and on the ice to keep morale up. He also set up a distillery so that the men would have fresh water to drink. This helped out a lot. They could fish, and they could drink fresh water. This is how they stayed trapped in the ice for 2 years. That was until the ice crushed the ship and it sank. Luckily, this didn't happen overnight, and they were able to get a lot of their supplies off the ship along with 3 open boats. At the time, they were 1,000 miles north of Siberia. It sucks if you're trapped in Siberia. Now you're 1,000 miles north of there? It was about this time the captain decided they weren't going to the North Pole, they were going to try and survive. So he broke the crew up into 3 different parties, each taking a boat going different directions, looking for some kind of civilization, trying to get a rescue. One of the 3 boats sank, never to be seen again. No, there were no survivors on that one. A second party actually found a settlement and survived. Now the third party had the captain and Dr. Ambler on it. They got lost in the Arctic and wandered around the ice for months. The captain finally made the decision to take the 2 strongest men and send them off on one last rescue mission. Dr. Ambler stayed with the captain and some of the injured and sick men. The 2 men that took off, they actually were rescued and survived, and they eventually got help back to the captain and Dr. Ambler and the rest of the men. They were dead. One thing that did survive was Dr. Ambler's very detailed journals about the whole thing. In 1884, the remains of the captain, the crew, and Dr. Ambler were brought back to the United States. When they asked the surviving crew members who went above and beyond, they all said Dr. Ambler. 1898, in Juneau, Alaska, crime boss Soapy Smith is killed in a shootout, and it kind of releases Skagway, Alaska from his iron grip, as they said. He was basically, the local crime boss in Skagway that ran everything. 1932, the Dow Jones Industrial Average reaches its lowest level of the Great Depression. 1948, the United States Air Force accepts its first female recruits into a program called Women in the Air Force, or WAF. 1968, the Chrysler Wildcat strike begins in Detroit, Michigan. 1994, Kim Jong-il begins to assume supreme leadership of North Korea upon the death of his father, Kim Il-sung. 2014, Israel launches an offensive on Gaza amid rising tensions following the kidnapping and murder of 3 Israeli teenagers. 2021, President Joe Biden announces that the official conclusion of the U.S. involvement in the war in Afghanistan will be on August 31st, 2021. Now, this was in early July, and then we started moving out in late August of 2021. And if you remember back then, there was a horrible truck suicide bombing thing that killed 13 military personnel, and it was total chaos. And it was bad, and it looked really bad for the U.S., Joe Biden, the administration, all that stuff. I honestly think it was unavoidable, and I also think it could have been much worse. If we would have given Al-Qaeda, ISIS, and all those other groups more time to plan and organize, there would have been a lot more dead. It's a war zone. People die. It's horrible. It really sucks when they politicize things like that. And they always tell one side, it's horrible, we lost 13. But they fail to mention that in 2020, we lost 11. In 2019, we lost 21. 2018, we lost 14. Again, in 2017, we lost 14. At one point in 2010, we lost 500 in 1 year. It's a war zone. People die. It's never good. Movies released on July 8th, 2022. Today, Thor: Love and Thunder. This is a Marvel movie starring Thor. The previews look amazing. I think it's going to be funny. It's going to be action-packed, just like all the other Thor movies have been. This one has Chris Hemsworth as Thor. Chris Pratt's in this one. Tessa Thompson, who plays Valkyrie. I love her. Natalie Portman's in this one. Christian Bale. I'll be going to see it. I'll tell you how it was. Mark Mothersbaugh from Devo, the main guy from Devo, that 1980s new wave band, remember Whip It? He composed all the music for the film. Born on July 8th, 1907, George W. Romney, CEO of American Motors from 1954 to 1962. He was also the 43rd governor of Michigan from 1963 to 1969. He was also the 3rd United States Secretary of the House and Urban Development under President Richard Nixon. After graduating high school, he spent 2 years as a missionary in England and Scotland, then went to Washington to work for the Massachusetts Senator David T. Walsh. His son Mitt Romney also went into business as a financier and ran for president against Barack Obama in 2012. He's a senator currently. Died on July 8th, 2011, we lost Betty Ford, President Gerald Ford's wife, who was the First Lady of the United States from 1974 to 1977. She was known for her candidness and founding the Betty Ford Center for Substance Abuse and Addiction. She was a model, she danced, she taught dance, and she worked with children in the aftermath of the stock market crash in 1929. She founded the Betty Ford Center in 1982 after she had a successful recovery from alcohol abuse in the late 70s. After her husband's defeat by Jimmy Carter in the 1976 presidential election, she delivered the concession speech because Gerald Ford had lost his voice while campaigning. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, and be nice to each other.